The Field Report is a part of the Amateur Radio Network. You're listening to the Field Report for February 20th, 2017. Okay, so we're going to pick up more on this story of what's going on there in California. Okay, looking at this map, I'm looking at Oroville Dam, I'm looking at the cities around there, and then the evacuation orders that were put in place. And then what you have happening is that the people that are going to Chico, California, and if you read or studied up on any of the links or watched the videos or anything on this, this is just really kind of evolving. Now, when you have residents that are coming from Oroville, California, or those areas that will be affected by this dam, they go to these evacuation centers. Now, this is really important because I know that there's a staging area. They usually have tents set up, and now you're hearing that the people that get to these locations, they're, I don't know if they're asked or ordered or whatever to take certain immunizations and vaccinations. And knowing the issues in California regarding vaccinations, it's obvious that they're being told or forced to take a vaccination, and I'm really bothered by this. I'm very, very bothered, knowing what a lot of us know about vaccinations. And now, so the evacuees have taken a vaccination, and now they're sick as a dog the same day they took the vaccination. Okay, so I wasn't born yesterday, but usually if you are taking a vaccination and they're sick as a dog, this is what really, really gets me mad, because knowing that a lot of Californians, whether they want to or not, are being told one thing, and you're in the middle of a crisis, so obviously you're going to do whatever the authorities tell you. But this is so damn wrong. Everything about this, it bothers me because of the leaders and because of the kind of corrupt things that have gone on, not in just California, but it's just everywhere, and it's the timing of it. And now, so I guess what I'm thinking is what a lot of people are thinking, and why this, why now, and why this. And then when I heard the other report that they're planning these protests starting, I don't know when they'll start really continue with these protests. They have to really look at this too, because like everywhere people congregate, is a concern for somebody like, in this case, evacuees and anybody else that knows a little bit about what happens when you go to places like this. I mean, it's leading to something, and that's all I can say. I don't know where it's leading to, but our prayers are with the people there that are in the midst of this evacuation. That hopefully we keep praying for the people there, that their health protected for and kept safe. That's my main concern. And their health, and just overall the circumstances. This could be very life-changing for a family, for individuals, innocent lives. The idea that leaders don't even think about and consider the lives that they're affecting, maybe that's the whole point. I don't know, but they had full knowledge that these dams were in distress, and this has been going on for 12 years. So to me, we're beyond the political stuff. We got to pray. We really do. We really need to pray against the attack that's happening. In this regard, there's an attack happening, and that's the way I see it. I don't see it any other way. No one can convince me otherwise at this point, because there's just too many things that are happening in America that would cripple this country. And you can think about an quote accidental outbreak, okay, like we watch movies. It's called predictive programming for a reason. It's like they've got us to the point where if we watch Hunger Games or watch the movies, that just the assumption it's already been planted in our heads that this is what's going to happen. Okay, it sucks. Everything about this sucks. Okay. So now you got families and people that are evacuating, and they're getting to these locations. Now they're getting sick. Really, 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 for anyone who prays, who loves to pray, this is your time to step in and start praying for your friends, your family. According to Psalm 91, anything comes against our friends, our family, our country. These are our people, and I forget politics for a change, man. I'm so tired of hearing people be so divided when when the enemy wants to attack, he's going to find you at the most vulnerable time in your lives, when you're the weakest and the most vulnerable. And I can't see how anyone would argue that if you don't pick up your Bible and you just don't start reading it, how in the world can you really understand what the adversary's what we're up against? And then this is not a religious thing, because look at the Catholic Church. All the stuff that we talk about regarding topics on abuse of children. And the Catholic Church is not always the authority. In fact, they're praying to Mary, for God's sake. Okay? I mean, save it for anybody else that wants to argue with me. Those of us that, Jesus is Lord. And he's Lord of the situation. He's going to protect our people. He's going to protect our country. But we need to start addressing some serious concerns when it comes to these kind of matters. Because, listen, I know we can come against this because there's authority in the Word of God. Okay, we can come against this. But I'm even more so concerned that people will throw religion into this. This is not a religious issue. There is a spiritual war. I mean, it's obvious when our boundaries and our borders and our issues that regarding this country, America, the land of the United States, when we have to argue about immigration, we have to argue about all these things, it's irrelevant to those ding-dongs that don't care. The Lord's they're going to have to answer to the Lord at one point or another. It says so in the Word. And the Word is the Word. So please, spare me. For anybody that wants to start getting religious, go take a hike. Okay, you got to use tactical plans and pray for these people. And keep praying for our leaders. And keep praying for our president right now. Because as far as I'm concerned, there are some not very smart Christians they're sitting there attacking everything that Donald Trump does, okay? And it does not matter. He's not a religious man. Get over it, okay? Just pray for the man. You pray for your president. I prayed for Barack Obama. I pray for Donald Trump. This is what you do. You pray for your people. You pray for your country. Quit getting into a debate about whether this is more theological. This is the problem we always run into, is that people want to get into a theological debate. Just pray for people. Get over it. No, you don't go into church every Sunday. Okay, that's religion. Religion has taught people to go to church every Sunday. Okay, just pray. You don't have to go to church to pray. You don't have to get the beads out. Just pray for them. It's that simple. Oh my gosh. I mean, I've listened to theological debates. I'm like, really? Do you have time for this? I'm so mad. I am. I'm disgusted. Because this is what pulled me away to begin with. Is that once you get into all this religion, doctrine stuff, people lose interest in this stuff. It's a simple prayer, simply praying for people. What a difference that will make for all of us. My goodness. Anyway, the reason I get irritated is because I know this is not over. Just because we get irritated and we breathe a sigh of relief, anyone that knows anything about being under attack, anybody that knows anything about watching your family almost literally be destroyed by drugs, alcohol, all those things. We were born on a battlefield, as borrowed from the statement from Coach Dave. We're born on a battlefield. And, the difference between hell's kingdom and the Lord's kingdom is that there are walls in heaven, just like there's walls in hell, okay? And the difference between heaven and hell is that in hell, he keeps his people captive. Jesus set the captives free. So anyone that's been taken over by something or bad experience, or, they're sitting there blaming themselves, it's time to put down the bad and thank Jesus that he saved you. Thank Jesus. My goodness. But, when Jesus said, I came to set the captives free and I came to bind up the brokenhearted. And I know there's a lot of brokenhearted over people. And you know what? What I've learned about being losing my home or losing something, whether it be, through a family crisis or something like that, God always restores us in other areas of our life. So while a lot of people might be facing the loss of their home, they might be facing incredible financial burdens, but see, in our Bible, the Lord will raise up. He will raise up people, and maybe that's what we are. I'm over here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Never been to this part of California in my life, okay? So God obviously has us watching this, okay? The Lord is watching. He wants us to stand guard and pray over the people there. And those are our people, by the way. And I do not care what political party you abide to. If the Lord is going to be coming to you in your life at some point, he's going to, the Lord is not, he's not worried about whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican. He wants you to get right with him. That's the bottom line. This is the problem that a lot of people are up against. It, somehow Jesus is more Republican or Jesus is not a Democrat. I mean, that's foolish talk, okay? The Lord wants his people to be safe and protected for and prayed over, especially during this time. So as far as I'm concerned, that's our duty, is to pray for them. And our responsibility is to watch out for our people. And if we're doing anything, this is like, you can look at this as an outpost right now. And I pray for everyone that is evacuating, that they go to the right places, that the Lord would lead them to the right places, and the Lord would lead them out and protect the people that have been stricken by this norovirus. I'll put the audio and videos below, by the way. I don't want to upset anybody. I'm just a really, 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 really sickened that we have been dragged through so much as a country. Now we're being told if we don't take in more immigrants that we're just a bad nation, we're just bad people, we're just this, we're that. You know what? I don't know any other country that has done more humanitarian efforts, has done more to help people. And our responsibility is to our people first. Thank you.